ELO Darkness. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe Gerba. Today I'll be going over ELO Darkness and how it plays with 2 players. Now ELO Darkness is a 1 to 4 player game, which is a MOBA style, which is kind of the style off of multiplayer online battle arena, kind of like Dota or League of Legends, the video games, where you have 5 heroes pushing across 3 lanes with 2 gankers and supporters helping each lane. And if one of the lanes reaches the opponent's base, you win the game. So to see a little bit more, how to play. So in ELO Darkness, you'll actually come to the table with a pre-made deck. Your deck is going to have the 5 heroes that are going to be on your side against the 5 heroes of the enemy. You're going to have 1 lane of each color. You're going to have a supporter, and then like a laner and a ganker and a jungler that can help throughout these different lanes. And it's kind of a card management game where each hero is going to have its own 5 cards in this big deck, plus a couple of ancillary cards in here, about 12 or so. And as you go across, you'll be playing cards in the lanes, kind of battling against the opponent with a little bit of push and pull. If you win the lane, you get to move the minion wave closer to the enemy base. And you'll be taking towers along the way, making it easier to advance along that lane. So you'll play your laner cards, decide if you want to back away from a lane so you can have a little bit more mobility and push the lanes that way. But before we get there, you'll also use your cards to farm some resources. So a big part of these MOBA games is the farming. So while you discard, you can level up your heroes just a little bit at a time. Get money, which you can spend on items like buying from the side shops or the shops to advance some of the the abilities on your players. But it's going to come at a cost. You have to discard that card to farm, where you may get money or get more cards, but they'll advance. So you don't quite know what you're going to get, but you could be also weakening your hand for the laning phase and the support phase. So once you got your 3 laners down here, you're going to both players are going to reveal at the same time, and then decide who's helping in which lane. There's kind of a push and pull little mechanic here on who wins the lane. Like I said before, if you do win, you move the minion forward, destroy any towers you pass, and move 1 step closer to that lane. So that's kind of the generic high-level overview of this game. So let's see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So let's talk about the components in this game. It comes with a lot of cards, and the cards are the main mechanic they're going to use to push these lanes, to move the junglers around, to level up, to play, use a support in the laner. It's used for everything. So cards are everything. And it comes with I like the board, I like the chips and everything. It comes with a lot of cards, but what I do like about it is that it comes with 50 heroes. Each hero has their own set of 5 cards. So as you're crafting these decks, there's 10 yellow laners, there's 10 blue, and there's 10 red laners, and then with 10 supports and 10 junglers, that's a lot of variety, and they give you all those cards. So once you actually set up your heroes, you craft this large deck, and it really does, it can feel much different from game to game depending on the heroes. So as far as the components go, they give you a lot of variety in this game. So let's talk about rules and references. The rules, not too hard. If you're familiar with the MOBA style, the pushing your lane style, it's kind of straightforward and kind of neat. It does take you a little bit. References are decent. Not a whole bunch on the cards that can really trip you up. And they do have a nice little reference section in here as well. Table size, this can probably barely fit on a 3x3. Takes up most of my 3x5 space that we got back here, but a lot of components spread out. You can definitely pretty much compact it a little bit. And the play time for this game probably is about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how long you spend crafting your deck and getting your deck ready to play. So let's talk about the gameplay. And I can't stress this enough, that this feels like it's a game for the MOBA players, the 5-on-5 kind of players, the ones who like to do push and pull on certain lanes, making sacrifices in certain lanes so they can make advancements in others. This game is big on hand management. You can spend a lot of cards on your turn to really push these lanes, but your cards don't replenish very quickly. Once you're done for the turn, you can keep any cards you have in your hand, but then the next turn you only get to draw 2. There are ways to get more cards. There are some heroes that let you draw more cards. And that's kind of the hero crafting, and the crafting before the game is to make sure that you have the card income in. Same thing with the gold. You don't want to be slacking on your items that you're going to be purchasing with the gold, because those are bonuses that help you throughout the game. So it's a really big card and hand management game. Half the game is setting up your 5 heroes and getting some good synergy. The other half's playing, leveling up your heroes, deciding, the big decisions. I'm going to discard this card and level up this hero, but they're not going to give me any cards this turn, and instead I get some money during the farming phase. And the decisions you put out during lane, or every card you put down here is a card you don't have for next turn. So the gameplay is super tight in this game, and like I said, if you really enjoy MOBAs, this gives you a really cool feel of the push and pull, of the retreating in certain lanes to get an advantage in some others. There's everything such as, trying to kill, bidding for monster deaths that can kind of give you a push, but you'll be bidding some cards in your hand. You can explore these jungles for some, that for that round, your lanes on the either side are going to be a little bit more powerful. It's just, there's a lot to this game if you like kind of this genre of the 5 versus 5. So big hand management. Really tight for 2 players. I don't think I'd play this at 3 to 4, but it's a really big back and forth between 2. So definitely very interesting, but big on hand management, where you can blow a lot of your turn spending those cards, but next turn isn't going to be as impactful. So there's a lot to say about that, but I'll kind of leave it at that. So let's talk about the replayability, and I will give this game a ton of replayability. You can change out one hero, and it'll change the entire course of how the game may, play out. Yes, there's only 5 cards in here of that certain hero, but when they come out, they do have their own little specialty. Each one has, if you want to draft the heroes or just pick them, they're all going to have their own stats that they're good at, what they're not good at. It's really neat just crafting the deck and kind of theory crafting. So I think the replayability for an enjoyer of this genre is very high. So I will talk about the luck versus strategy, and you can tell that this game, there's no dice anywhere. The only luck that there may be is what cards are going to be drawn off the top. It's a lot of strategy that you're building in, holding the cards when you need to and expending them to get that crucial advantage. So I think the strategy in this game is very high, and once again, it all starts with the deck construction before the game is started, which kind of leads me to the difficulty. If you don't play this game often, you don't really know what some of these characters do, and you just may be blindly picking. But if you can play a few times over, you can get a really good feel of how these characters can play. So is this game good for 2? I like this game for 2, with the caveat that you need to be playing someone on the other side of the table who is very like-minded, who wants to spend time constructing their deck to try to give you the biggest head-to-head experience. You could random draft, and that's fine. Definitely, a way to play, but I feel like the deck construction, just seeing, is kind of a neat way to give that customization, touch that you have on it. If one of the other players doesn't necessarily like the genre or like the the super big card management system that there is, this game's probably not for them. But for two like-minded strategic players, I think this is a very good game. So if the other person has any doubts or really isn't 100% into it, this game's just going to flop. I think it plays best with two. I have tried this solo. Didn't really click and enjoy it, but it's more enjoyable than some solo games. Just thought it ramped up a little bit much. But for two players who are like-minded, I can definitely see them enjoying this game. Is it the best game I've played? No. Is it, the bottom of the barrel? No. But I like the MOBA style genre. That's why I backed it. It was a Kickstarter game. And I don't think it'll leave the collection, but it is hard to get to the table because of, my wife doesn't really like the super big head-to-head, no luck-driven kind of games. No, the theme is here in the MOBA. If you don't love the MOBA style, you're also not going to love the game. So if you have another friend with you that loves this style of game, this could be a good one to look into and pick up. But if it's just a casual gamer and you're looking for a classic two-player game, I don't think this is the game. So I like this game, but I can understand it probably won't be for everyone. So hope you guys enjoyed the review, and until next time.